Hi, and welcome to W Daily. My name is Nikki, and today on IQ Power and Success, we have two guests with us. We have Todd Burkholder and David Bradford from Drive Planning, and they'll be sharing with you tons of tips and resources on gaining financial success. Welcome back, and we have our two guests here today. We have Todd and David. Now, can you both tell us what you do?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Nikki. We are both with Drive Planning, and Drive Planning is a firm in the business of helping people determine their financial path and becoming successful as a whole person.
Okay, and what does that entail?
So we like to say it's an intentional process because most people quite frankly, they let their life get in the way of doing the things that they really ultimately want to do. And so we take an intentional approach, meaning every 90 days we revisit with a person their health, their relationships, and their personal finances. And we talk about what are over the next 90 days, how can we be intentional and really move the needle and impact those three areas.
How did you get into this?
Great question. I've been doing this for 20 years now, and what I saw was that people could be very successful, but only monetarily. And we helped people over the years create tons and tons of wealth, but they weren't always happy. And so David and I together, we stepped aside and said, okay, how do we create a successful person? And through research, through marketing and polling and different things, we come up with these three tenets of a really successful person is healthy. They have more bandwidth at the end of the day. They don't snap at the people that they say they love the most at the end of the day. And they also have really good communication skills relationally. So we dig deep into cognitive testing, into relational testing, and talk about how are you communicating with those people that you love. And the last thing is being financially free. Right at about the time we started our process here and we're creating it, American Express came out with a study that said 78% of married couples had a financial secret. Scary, right?
Okay.
Yeah. One of the people in the group had a financial secret. The study went on to say that 50% of couples, one or more of the people, something about that other spouse or partner of theirs really aggravated them about the way that they handled money. So much so that it created fights and created tension in the relationship.
Right.
And so all of those things kind of built on our personal experience and background have led us to this point of really trying to help people be successful.
And that's one of the things that we wanted to kind of set ourselves apart from, the financial planners.
Right.
Because so many of the people that we meet, I've got a financial planner, I've got a wealth manager person. Right. We really focus on innovation, really focus on thinking outside of the box. And part of that is I don't know of any actually, other than the 20-something that's now a life coach.
Right, that guy.
But it's trying to bring the two together. So a way to summarize what Todd was saying is we've kind of made it kind of a mantra, is we want our clients to be relationship rich, physically fit, and financially free.
Okay.
And so those are the three targets we hit. And when you have all three of those, people can see, and I think in our society now, the old idea that you're successful because you've got money, I think that's gone.
Right.
Do you agree?
Yes.
It's passé. People are looking for something real. People are looking for something authentic. And just because you have a BMW or just because you have a lot of cash in the bank or whatever, people say, no, there's got to be more. There's got to be more.
Well,
and so that's what we're trying to do.
I mean, of course, there's the, money doesn't bring you happiness, mantra there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It helps.
Right. It helps.
It helps. But again, helping couples, helping individuals figure out what is it that I really want out of life. And so we dig deep and talk about mission statements, personal statements of what does their success look like.
Okay. Now, I'm going to get personal with y'all here. So how did you get into this?
Going back to just kind of life experience of knowing people, being a person that has made tons of money over the years, that isn't just it. Right. That is not the only answer to happiness. It's not, that relationship rich part I think is really just super critical of being vertically relational with Christ or whomever you identify as your God.
Right.
that has to be present. It has to be present in somebody's life.
The reason how we got into it was we were in a small group together, and I was training for the CrossFit Games until I got a shoulder injury, and
I wasn't. As an aside.
You weren't
And,
training for
I
CrossFit
wasn't.
Games?
No.
when Todd approached me about it, it was clear to me it wasn't just, hey, let's help these rich people make more money, but let's bring significance, let's bring purpose, let's bring hope.
Yeah, I was telling someone just the other day, I think this work that I've been doing now for 20 years has been great. However, the last 5 years has been the most meaningful work I've ever done in my life.
So what advice could you give to everyone?
I think most people follow what the media tells them to do. They read publications like Money Magazine and listen to talk show people talk about money.
Right.
And they never really dig in and look at what is the context of the person that's telling them that. Are they biased at all? Because if you look at Money Magazine, almost every article that you see has a slant towards something.
Right.
And if you flip 2 pages back, you'll see where the slant is coming from in the advertisements.
Yeah.
All of those publications are Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, all the money managers.
Right.
So they always guide you towards the same thing. Send us money, send us money. I think everybody has had the rich uncle experience where they've got this guy at Christmas or whenever, and they tell him, well, he's successful, so we might ought to listen to him.
Right.
And again, you've got to do things where you are. And you got to be intentional about doing things where you are. And so again, our process is every 90 days, we're sitting down and revisiting what is right for you.
You want to raise an alarm because most people, the way we were raised, all the people we talk to, were kind of raised in a kind of industrial age model. And basically,
Go to school, get a good job, go get an education to get a good job.
Right.
Got to get good grades, got to go to college, even if
Yeah.
you don't know what to do. Put in there, walk out with $80,000 to $100,000 of debt that you're going to carry around with you into your marriage, into your first children for a long time.
Right.
But most people usually only have 4 tools. It's a checking account, a savings account,
401k.
a 401k, and they've heard a little bit about real estate, but they don't know much about it.
Right.
And if that's your model of wealth, and if that's your model of success in the future, you're going to be destroyed. I mean, the market's going to eat you up. And you're going to find yourself with kids in middle school, and you're fussing and fighting over money, and you're never going to get ahead because the more you make in your job, the more you're taxed, the more these bills come, inflation comes up. And so what do? Oh, you know what? We're supposed to put money in the stock market. I heard that. My uncle, who's broke,
He told me to buy something.
he told me I should buy some stock. And so we have this. No one knows what they're doing. They know that the tools they have are inadequate. They know that the wealthy have tools that they don't have and knowledge that they don't have. And so they start looking. They start looking for advice. That maybe they'll go pick up Money Magazine.
Yeah.
After reading this, I feel like I need to be in the stock market. Well, every ad says that, right?
Right.
Again, it goes back to you got to really be careful of who you're listening to.
Who are you listening to?
What is their advice tailored to you and your situation?
Yeah.
More importantly, is it tailored to your hopes and dreams and what you really want to accomplish? I ask you, Nikki,
Yeah.
to take off and run towards the horizon. Would you ever get there?
No.
No. It's always going to be out in front of you, right?
Right.
It's an unattainable goal. And so sometimes when someone's sitting there at 25, 35, maybe 40 or so years old, the idea of retirement or success seems like they're chasing the horizon. It seems so far out in the future that they deviate off course, and it creates sadness, it creates frustration. They start trying multiple things and they never really win. And so that's where we break it back to, if you were running, if you were chasing that horizon, it wouldn't be till you hit that first bank of trees right there before you really said, okay, I know I'm going somewhere, I'm moving. I don't know if I'm going the right direction, but I know I'm moving. And people love progress. People like checking things off a list. It makes them feel good. That is where happiness lives. That's where it's created. And so again, that goes back to that 90-day approach that we take, of we're consistently giving new short-term objectives that's ultimately going to get you to where you need to go. Ultimately, we're going to get you to the goal, to the end target, but yet we're making progress along the way, very incremental progress along the way.
What kind of advice would you give for like different, I guess, ages?
If you're thinking of a 25-year-old person, they need to start focusing on short-term savings.
Okay.
Short-term savings, because the one thing that leads to credit card debt down the road is when an emergency comes up and they don't have the resource to pay it, and so they go to a credit card, and then another emergency comes up. And so if you can start the habit early of saving, getting some just liquid cash, your retirement, the 401k thing, that can be later. We can do that later. Get your protection in order. When I say protection, I'm thinking about things that protect you against your health going south on you. At 25, you're probably as healthy as you're ever going to be.
Right.
And so you've got to lock those things up early on in life. So if we move on and we go into like the 35 to 40-year-old person, I think, start focusing on if you've gotten into it, if you've made the mistake of debt, start paring that down.
So how do people get in touch with you?
Our company is all over social media. We are, our website, of course, is driveplanning.com, just like you drive a car, driveplanning.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook. My name is Todd Burkhalter, David Bradford. We're both, we have blogs, we have all kind of different resources that you can get through driveplanning.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for giving your advice this day.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having us. It's been a blast.
Thank you.